And we're back. What's
Yeah.
shaking, Michael?
Hey, I'm happy to be here, bud. Welcome back.
Yeah. I feel like you're taller than me. Do I need to?
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. Look, see? I just touched something and that was it. Now I see there's a tree on the side of my screen.
A tree?
It's a touch screen, so I just moved it just a hair, just so we can be level.
Okay. I love it.
How was the weekend?
The weekend was warm, but Saturday was really, really nice out. Pretty cool, especially when you're riding. But yeah, good weekend all around. How about you?
Hey, no complaints, no complaints. It was kind of just a chill weekend. Didn't really do much. Came out to see you.
I saw you. I saw you walking in the rain. I gotta watch this guy, folks. We gotta watch Jimmy. Okay, he's a slick one. That Jimmy Jams.
Listen, my feelers were like this. I'm going to go down the speedway.
Mm-hmm.
And normally I'll try some other little things first. But I was like, Speedway,
Mm-hmm.
North on Seagrave. I said, I'm going there first.
Let's go.
Wouldn't you know? Boom.
there he
Right
is.
there. I was
Almost.
trying to take pictures. My phone was acting all crazy. It was all blurry. I was like, what is going on right now? I was wiping the camera off 10 times. I was like,
The old stomping ground, man. And you know what it is that humidity. It gets you. It gets the cameramen too. They got to put that anti-fog stuff on, and
well,
car can't be
yeah.
too cold.
Well, I always drive with the windows down when I'm looking for you, so it's not like it was a cold to hot thing. Maybe it was just the humidity in general. Who knows?
Yeah, very likely. But good to see you nonetheless, as usual.
Of course, of course. In the old Seagrave.
You know what? That's the old stomping ground, man. You can always, it's a target rich environment. Let's just say that. Okay. We'll leave it at that.
I was gonna say you could just make a show out of sitting in that area, huh?
I've made an entire, basically on Patrol Live career off of Kingston, Seagrave, that whole, block or two. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Let's not get too in depth there. We don't need people thinking Daytona's
You know what? Yeah, we probably need to pull that part out. I don't know. Delete that.
we'll see. See how I'm feeling.
They showed it on the camera a few weeks ago, and I was talking to that one guy who I said, if I'm in a strip club, what do you think I'm there for? The girls? And, he couldn't
Mm-hmm.
believe it. So they showed the sign. So people know where it is. It's not a secret. But for you guys watching this right now, don't come hang out at Kingston and Seagrave. If you're new to Daytona, enjoy yourselves, the beach side, the west end of the city. You know what I mean? Plenty of stuff to see around those places.
Yep, you don't want to venture in certain areas, let alone stop for a period of time.
Yeah, it's just not conducive to one's health as a visitor to the city.
You might get a excuse me,
Yeah,
excuse me.
that's right. You don't want that.
No,
But hey, listen, every city has the same thing: bad areas, great areas. Even Hazen, they got bad areas too. It's like, okay, it's not just Daytona.
it's not. It's everywhere. Don't play silly like, oh, we don't have that in our town.
Yeah, you
You
do.
do.
You do.
You just look away from it.
And there are no cameras there, cops focusing on it, and millions of eyes per weekend watching it. So,
Truth.
but anyway, good weekend. What do you got, Jim? You trip me out because there's some things that pop off the screen to you, and your imagination runs wild. You send me these notes, I take some notes, and then we discuss these things briefly. That's where we are tonight, right?
We are, fella. We got a couple things to go over.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to send you the notes. Sometimes I like to just bam, get your reaction because, you're out Saturday night working. You don't really get to just focus on it and sit at home and enjoy it. You got to rewatch it somewhere at some point in time during the day. So I know that
Yeah.
gets kind of like a blah. It's not as fun.
Yeah, it's true.
But, anyways, we'll jump right into Friday night. Old Fontana.
Mm.
It was a show opener. They had the back-to-back opening calls, I guess you would call it. Call it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I just liked the first one because it was about shoes, and I'm a sneakerhead. So, oh, we got a robbery for some sneakers. I'm like, what did they make away with?
Oh yeah, and they mentioned that that several gentlemen, if you want to call them that, for lack of a better word, got away with a bunch of Jordan maybe stuff, and the studio seized on that with the fellas' footwear, and I was like, "Hey, Curtis got rocking those Olympic sixes on, woohoo!"
Curtis always has well, just that little dabble of extra on, and I love
Yeah,
it. I love it.
just a little
Dan,
sprinkle.
Dan, you need to take some tips. Hmm.
No comment.
You look like he was ready for the Kentucky Derby with them shoes. But anyways,
Get him a mint julep and one of those fancy hats, maybe.
I will say though, he might not have his shoe game on point, but I've been noticing some of those watches he's got on.
Listen, Dan focuses on the finer things in life. I can promise you that. From his vineyard to his watch collection, he is vacation in Italy right now. I mean, who's got it better than Dan Abrams, huh?
He's got it. He's got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Then the second call Fontana had was the DUI. The guy passed out in the road. What did you have on Twitter about the Camry Solara?
We went
Whoa.
back and forth with the On Patrol Live community guy. He said there was no such thing as a two-door Camry, and I work for Toyota in a former life. I know that there is.
We both did.
Yeah, we sure did. So that's what it is. It's called a Solara, but it's a Camry Solara on the window sticker. So it
Yep.
really is a two-door Camry. And back in the 90s, they actually did make a two-door Camry, but a lot of people don't know about that either.
That was the old
Yeah.
square body.
Yeah, my aunt had one of those, and
Nice.
I drove it around. It was a 5-speed to high school for a while. It was
Oh,
a nice car,
wow.
very nice car.
Fancy. You know, it's sad. That's probably worth like 10 times what it's worth back then now.
Probably
5-speed Camry, two-door. People be like, oh, I need that.
Oh yeah, but you know what happens, man? Good times. You know, I like Fontana. That officer that was there, his mustache is a sight to behold.
I was thinking, I was like, if I just get this out a little bit longer, I got some grays, but if I get it out a little bit longer, I could have that.
That's all right. You
I
just
could have
brush in
that.
some of that jet black just for men.
Nope.
You're good.
Nope.
You look okay.
Nope. Can't do it.
Cancel that. All right.
But I got a Sharpie. Just kidding.
Just for men's easier.
Rolling over into Daytona. So Maori had the guy that passed him in the I mean, it was a one lane, no passing zone, however you want to call it. But I mean,
Yeah.
passed him on the right.
Come on, bro. Come on. Let's think about this. He actually said he went all up on the curb or something and off road to pass him. What's the deal? At high rate of speed?
I mean, do people not pay attention? I mean, okay, you have an unmarked car, but if I see something that resembles some kind of police car, I'm like, okay, let's look around the tag bracket for lights. Let's look
Uh-huh.
for this. Let's look for that. Or just, hey, black wheels on a white SUV.
You got it. I mean, people just don't think about it. The only thing they're thinking about is how can I get from point A to point B as quickly as possible? And usually they're trying to get food, go see their significant other, or go to the bathroom, which is always a great excuse to use, I suppose, huh?
No excuse is a great excuse. Just own up to it. Say I'm a soup sandwich and I'll take my ticket, please and thank you. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
doing what I did.
Much easier. I mean, the cop is on duty, and here you are going to the bathroom. A little strange.
So my wife said while it was airing, she goes, "Oh, Mallory's really aggravated. He seems pissed off." And he might seem pissed off, but there's always like a trigger. So when I'm driving, I'm like, God, this person's got their brights on. It's bothering me. Like I hate having the brights on. Or somebody riding so close you can't see them in either mirror. They're just back there. So I mean, maybe he had a trigger. I mean, do you have some triggers that you are like, oh, I got to stop this guy for X, Y, Z?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is I have an issue with school zones. I hate people flying through school zones. I really dislike, and it's not just me, but the chief has a thing with train horns on vehicles.
Oh, okay.
So that started triggering in my brain, like, this is pretty ignorant. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's illegal in the state to do it, but basically school zones and train horns. So riding too closely is important too. I'm like, get out, back up, Jesus.
I never would have thought a train horn would have came into anybody's wheelhouse. I guess if you hear it enough, you're like, nah, I'm gonna get him.
Especially with the truck event. You know how it goes down here. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, he might have seemed a little agitated, but I mean, it was reckless,
It
and
is.
he cut him a break, which was really nice.
Yeah, because you just chewed him out, you know what I mean? And then rip him a new one, send him on his way. Sometimes that'll get you in more trouble than actually writing the citation. So you got to be careful, walk a very fine line with reading somebody the riot act and just stroking them a quick warning or stroking them a ticket. We get more complaints about people's demeanor or attitude than we do about an actual citation. So just got to be careful as an officer doing that all around the country.
Interesting.
Yep.
Never thought about that. All right. There was a question out there.
Mhm.
Explain everybody's different. We'll say call signs. So Bravo, Charlie, X-ray. Like somebody said, what does X-ray mean?
So we do have 4 shifts in Daytona Beach: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. Alpha and Bravo are day shift units, and then Charlie and Delta are night shift units. The X-ray guys are specialized units, like Bowery's on the bike unit, actually. So he's an X-ray unit. VCAT, they're VCATs, they're specialty unit. They're X-ray units as well. And then I would be an echo unit because I'm in investigations. So we have our own things. And there's Victor numbers too, which is a whole other thing we don't need to get into. But yeah,
Right.
you hear those numbers and you never figure it out unless you work here.
So my question is, does it change like every shift? So do you? So you're a daytime guy. If you go to nighttime to do the show or something, do they change that on you?
Right. So let's just say, a day shift guy like Foreman's a prime example. He works on Bravo shift. But when he works the show at night, he'll log in as his Victor number, which is the Victor number is what you use when you're doing a special detail or something like that. So that's how it changes. But most patrolmen, their numbers are always the same unless they're working overtime or a separate shift.
And another me question:
Yeah.
how does it all work when you're talking on the radio? Do you guys remember everybody's call signs?
Yeah, you got to remember call signs. Sometimes you can't remember, you just call them by name. But yeah, it gets a little difficult because as you grow in seniority, your Victor number changes. And if you switch to rotations, then your Bravo or Delta or whatever number changes, So yeah, it gets a little confusing.
Yeah, I bet. And I got a bad memory.
Especially with hundreds of people working. That's really gets crazy. It's like for a special event, like we got a race coming up this weekend. There'll
Mm-hmm.
be dozens of people with all types of numbers from every rotation working. It gets very confusing.
Wow. All right.
Yep.
Let's get back into the show.
Word.
Everett
Mm.
Rebello. Let's see the names. Rebello.
I like him.
So listen, I'm gonna give it up to Everett every time because they are so nice.
Yeah.
Even like no matter what, they still have a demeanor of okay, you know what? I still have to be a human being to other human beings.
Yep.
But they got the guy that was in the narcotics area, and then he jaywalked, and then he did the quick little.
That's right.
What? Me?
That's right. I didn't do anything. You didn't see me throw drugs.
No.
Yeah, I
No.
did, fella. And you're going to jail for said drugs. I like Rebello though because he's old school police. So the call was initially what? It wasn't jaywalking.
No. It was what do they call that one? It's the narcotics area.
Yes, he was just a suspicious person in the
Yeah,
area.
it pretty much is suspicious in a narcotics area.
Right. And when you have that jaywalking, now you have a reason or PC for that stop. And when you try to conduct that investigation, he jaywalks. Now you can stop him legally, and then he talks to the narcotics. So now we go to a whole other level. We go from consensual encounter to PC stop to now destruction of evidence, possibly. So you got a felony arrest.
Sucks for that guy. It was just funny there. Oh, I know you. You know me. It was just like small world.
Notice how he broke the ice with that. Oh, long time no see. Get him to calm down. You know he just committed a felony, but you don't want to fight or run and all that. Get him to calm down, lower his guard, easier to arrest him.
Build that rapport, right?
So I love to do old school policing, baby.
And what does he have? 26 years on the force.
Yeah, he's OG.
That's a man to talk to right there.
Yeah, I like Robello. Hey, maybe we should talk to Robello. You know anybody over there in Washington?
No.
All right. Figured I'd ask.
Haven't you been to Washington?
I have.
I mean, don't you got a patch from somebody that you could be like, hey, I got a patch from you. Let's link up like sausages.
Good times. We'll see.
We will see, fella. Let's see. Oh, the baby locked in the car.
Oh.
Listen, my mind was running wild while watching that because if that's my kid, I'm like, I'm gonna eat this window because we're breaking it. What do you think?
Well, I was thinking the same thing until we found out later on in the call that the car was running and the AC was on. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. I mean, I've seen people break windows for animals faster than they broke into that car for the kid.
And it's not Florida with, 150 degree humidity, blah, 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 all that good stuff.
Right.
But I was like, okay, if it's the key fob that's not working, can somebody just open up their key fob and switch the battery out really quick just to boop, 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 boop? Or, somebody run inside the store and grab a battery. But I was like, nah, I'm overthinking because everybody's focused on like this squeegee thing with the coat hanger, blah, 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 blah. I was like, just get the kit out.
Right. They had that kit that most of our tow truck drivers have. So, but, I noticed something with that call as well. She removed the hard key that's always in the key fob.
Yeah.
So people were asking on social media, why would you ever remove that? You can't start the car with it anyway. All you can do is unlock the door. So once you do it, just put it right back, or how do you lose that? Never seen it before.
No.
Never seen it lost. It's like, okay, all my cars have that. I've never taken it out and thrown it somewhere. I just put it right back and get in the car.
But hey,
maybe the baby was holding it for a toy. I don't know.
Haha, look at me. But all ended well, thankfully.
Yeah, that was the key to their success.
Listen, fella, if you're going to start rolling jokes out, I'm going to have to start prepping for this. Let's jump over to Saturday night.
All right.
Listen, I am not going to lie. Saturday night, I was like, you're starting with a previously on. I was like, what are we doing here? There's nothing going on in any town?
No, nothing. That's not what happened.
What you mean?
They started with that stupid fleeing driver from Richland that Garrett Brown had detained.
That was a previously on.
No, he said prior to air tonight.
Oh, yeah, prior to air.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, still, it's not live.
It was not live. You're absolutely right. It was not live.
Because I was like, oh, Daytona's going to open on Saturday night. Technically, you did open live because the first two calls were previouslys or earlier on, whatever you want to call it.
So you know how we do. We take peeks behind the curtain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a stop on a guy pushing a scooter down Speedway, and we did a stolen vehicle investigation, and it was in the queue for the possible open. And then obviously they said I ran the VIN, there was nothing to it, so we cut the guy loose. So they said, let's give Garrow a go, and that's what he went to. So they could have went to me. It was a good call. The guy was funny. We had a little great commentary back and forth, but whatever.
I don't know. I feel like a live show should always start live, not a previously aired /
prior to air. But like, they've had some great just prior to air moments, man. It's like, ooh, they're good.
Okay, so we're not in the front seat of the car with these guys, and it's 9:00, so it's still like dusk. It's almost nighttime. I feel like they could have just started off with that, and nobody would have known that it was prior to air. Like, let's just get
Right.
it going. Let's get it going.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
They
This is
want to be
me.
on. So a lot of times, if the radio's too busy and it's way too long, somebody will say, "Well, that wasn't live. I was there." And people got their phones out recording, so that's all they want to do.
All right, all
So,
right.
all right, back to the behind the curtain. No more peek.
Well, we're gonna jump into your call. So I want all the behind the curtains
Yeah.
with the
All
little
right.
old man, dude.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I I mean, I only know what I saw, and I just happened to be on scene as you were doing that and watching. Also, I was like, "Oh, look at this guy go!"
Yeah.
But I mean, same thing. The Seagrave,
Yeah.
circling around and around.
Yeah. So this is what I tell my trainees, and I tell my kids the same thing. Watch patterns of behavior, where people go, the times they go there, right? And if
Mm-hmm.
you're seeing something repetitively, then I've seen that truck before in the area, right? So I even mentioned it that night. I said I told the officer, I don't know if they showed it, but I said, yeah, a couple of minutes ago, I saw him coming,
Mm-hmm.
south
They
on
showed it.
Seagrave, right? And then next thing you know, I circled the block and he's coming back north. That doesn't make any sense. He didn't use signal light. So long story short, we know what happens in that area. And my main thing is the guy may get victimized by Donna and her,
Of course.
her sex worker friend, or pimp, if you will. And I don't want that to happen to the guy no more than I want him to catch an SED or blow his money out. She's going to buy drugs with the money. Don't fund that activity. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a quality stop. Little peek behind the curtain.
I thought it was a really good stop. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
felt my emotions started taking over, and I felt bad. I was
yeah,
like, sitting there like watching the tow truck get this car, and I was like, uh, can we drive it home for the old man so he doesn't have to bail it out? And I was like, can we take the old man home? Like, what can we do to help? Because I was genuinely like, oh no,
yeah.
this is somebody's little grandpa, even though he has nobody around him. But that's somebody's dad, grandpa, whatever.
Yeah, of
I
course it
felt bad.
is. And me too. And that's what it's all about. Like you remember during Turkey Rod Run, I believe, or maybe it was one of these other calls, one of our officers arrested
Mm-hmm.
an old guy and he
Yep.
relieved himself on himself.
Yep.
And that turned into a firestorm, right? So my
Yes.
mind is saying I could take him to jail. He's got a cane. Why are we going to go through all? He may resist, he may hurt himself, or have a hard time getting in the vehicle, the
Mm-hmm.
wagon. Let's not do all that. A criminal citation is technically an arrest. He's not free to leave, and he has to see the judge for it. So it worked itself out, and we made sure we got him a ride home so he wasn't stuck down there getting victimized, right? We got to get him out of the area
Yes.
now.
Yes. I'm
So,
glad that got cleared up. That
yeah,
will get you a ride home because I
yes.
was like,
Yeah, we're not going to leave him here looking for Donna on
so-
foot.
somehow I'm gonna get this little guy in my truck and take him home because I gotta do it.
Yeah, your truck's a little higher than his truck is. And I'll tell you
Yeah.
this, think about it this way. Isn't it fair? I always say it. I'm going to let you go home tonight, but I'm taking your vehicle. Your truck goes to jail, you don't.
That
That's the
was
only options we got.
I laughed so hard when you said that. I
Yeah.
was just like, this guy is just on it. So I got two questions for you.
What you got?
One, I noticed that you were telling another officer the details of the stop. Is that because they take the paperwork and you get back to the camera stuff?
They take the paperwork because I don't have a printer in that vehicle, and they really don't want you to write handwritten citations unless it's an emergency. So if he
Gotcha.
has a printer, hey, knock it out, put my name on there as a witness. If there's traffic court, I'll come forward. They'll subpoena me, and it makes it way more easy for everybody involved.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And do you feel like sometimes you can't be as lenient because the cameras are watching? Like, I know you have a discretion to do whatever you want
Right.
to an extent, obviously, but do you feel like, the entire country's watching, so I need to?
Yeah, great question. I don't know if the country's watching. Number one, I don't know who's watching, who's not. I know that we have our supervisors watching because they have to approve what goes on the show and what doesn't. But I don't know what's live and what's not until I got back to the car and my phone was going crazy. And I was like, oh, I guess it went on. But like I always say, there's no red light that tells you you're recording. The producers don't tell you anything. They're just there watching and reporting back. But no, I don't feel an obligation to be more or less lenient. that's who I am when the cameras are on or if they're not. If it's a crash and there's alcohol involved, we have no discretion. We have to take action for field sobriety and things of that nature. If it's a regular traffic stop, I felt like I didn't smell enough alcohol or I didn't see any alcoholic beverages in the car.
Mm-hmm.
We could just do them for the driving with suspended license and we're good.
10 years.
Woo-hoo! I was given the benefit of the doubt. They told me 2018. He says longer than that. It's 10 years. Like, oh boy, that's a lot. That's messed up, bro.
He was so honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what's the difference when it's 5 or 10 years? It's still suspended, right?
Suspended indefinitely. And we always say what? Honesty is the best policy to get you a long way.
Mm-hmm.
It got his truck a long way away from him, and it got him home without Donna.
Wow. All right, let's jump over to Fontana. They had a tropic.
Let's jump over to Fontana. Why don't we?
Let's do that. They had a traffic stop with the Lexus,
Yeah.
and it was the guy on probation, or I think it was probation, and the girl in the car. And how does that work out if somebody's on probation or one of those things? Do you have the right to just be like, okay, get out of the car, we're going to search you? How does that work?
A lot of times they will have conditions, and I don't know what the conditions were on his probation, but usually they have to consent to a search because they're on probation to make sure they don't have narcotics or any kind of contraband, weapons or anything like that. So, yes, you need to consent to a search. If you don't consent, they can arrest you right there on view, which is called an on view violation. So, yeah, that's what he did, right? And they searched.
Yeah, they searched it all. They found that pipe, and then she took the hit for it. I mean,
that's what friends are for.
He said, the officer said that she was being honest to an extent, but she said it was a friend's, but she was going to take the rap for it anyway. So, I mean, I guess that's honesty?
Maybe. I mean, depends on which barometer we're looking through. Which looking glass is honest to you. Even if it was a friend and she's taking her eye for it, what they do, I mean, it's a misdemeanor possession charge.
I was to say, at that point, I'd probably be like, it's California. They do all sorts of weird things. I'm going to stomp it out and let's
right.
carry on.
Here's a ticket. Go to court in 6 years. I don't know. It's Cali. Yeah. It's wild over there. Wild, wild west.
It is. But it was a cute dog. So, I mean, she had that going for her. A little French bulldog.
That may be the only reason they made it, because there's a dog involved. You know how that goes.
You're right. This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Anything with a dog.
Yeah, I've seen much better calls not make it, but that call made it, and there's a puppy involved. We love the dogs.
This is true. And puppies. I love puppies. You guys had another call, and it was probably a typical Daytona call, but it was the disturbance call / fight.
Yeah.
/ the corner girl with the crackers and sausage.
Yeah.
How is she eating the crackers and sausage? Show us.
I'm not going to show you.
You were descriptive.
I was very descriptive because
talking to her.
Surprised that she very, very, sexually destroyed. It's a ground sausage too. It wasn't just a regular sausage. These Vienna sausage were on the ground. So she got the meat off the ground and right in her mouth with a cracker and looked me in my eyes.
Whoa.
She was devouring the sausage and cracker.
Back up.
Okay.
10 seconds back.
Let's go.
You said ground sausage, yes. Not ground in the thing, like from the ground, like on the pavement.
There was one on the pavement and one in the can. I don't know which one she ate, but I can tell you the can was also on the pavement with one in it, and then there was another one. So I don't know which one she ate. I wasn't looking that hard.
So it wasn't ground like ground beef. It was
no.
On the ground and a little link.
On the ground, yes.
Oh.
So very seductively, she consumed the cracker. I didn't want to mention the sausage because I thought that was a little too, provocative.
Okay, yeah.
So I just mentioned the cracker. And the cameraman did a great job zooming in on her, sticking the sausage and her finger in her mouth. And as I said what I said, panning directly to me and zooming in. It was a perfect shot. I was like, this guy's amazing. I watched it when I got home. I was like, wow, that was good.
They're good at what they do. They are good at what they do.
The people over there or the camera people? Who are you talking about?
The camera people.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
I'm sure. Nah, we ain't even getting into it.
Somebody said that I need more quality calls on the show. That's quality to me. The things that make you go, and laugh out loud and hold your belly. That was a great call. I enjoyed it.
I would have to disagree with that other person because I think you get, even if you don't have a quality call, you turn it into quality.
Yeah.
So you do a great job with taking something from the ground and bringing it up. Whether it's sausages or emotions.
Yeah, that's it, man. You take lemons, you make lemonade, dog. This is the hand I'm dealt. I play it.
You got tequila for that lemonade? What's in the cup?
Water.
Oh, I wish I had a cup of water. Oh, man.
Listen, speaking of quality calls, this is the same person I've cleared buildings. There was a guy who cussed me out in Pelican Bay because they were shooting in the house. Me and Marcus were there, running to the call, surround the house, get everybody out at gunpoint. Same guy who's had several chases, cars flipped over in yards, puppies being rescued from vehicles. Same guy who's had guys with nunchucks in hotel rooms, cracked out of their mind. Several quality calls. So I don't have to prove anything. I mean, Daytona's already done its work.
You don't have to prove anything. They're going to keep on rolling too.
They don't stop.
So Brookford had a traffic stop. It was that piece of junk truck. Okay, so
man,
I see a vehicle with no tag. It's all beat up. That would put me on edge because you don't know who's behind the wheel, right?
Right.
That there's a topper on it. You can't see inside of it. I'm sure it's full of junk. So the officer is on a busy highway and he takes a driver's side approach to the vehicle, but then he does he goes to the front almost by the mirror. And I feel like if he was a really bad guy and you came this way and I went this way, that's done. Like, that's my 2 cents.
Give me your whole body, dude. You know what I'm saying? Not half of it, not a piece. Give me your whole body and I'll take it. And it is tough because the highway and then the whole body. Passenger side approach, make them work for it, right?
Yeah. Because, 90% of the time people are right-handed, so that's easy. That's easy. But if you got a right-handed guy shooting out the passenger side, that's not as easy. And then you got to reach behind the pillar. So, yeah, I mean, 10% could be a lefty, and okay, but I don't know. That was just my take on that. I didn't like it.
Well, Chief wasn't there, so it was one of the sergeants that had the camera crew with him. He was on vacation. Shout out Chief Armstrong. I hope you enjoyed your vacation. The aquarium with your family looked pretty nice.
We got an aquarium. He could come see us.
He's been invited. I can tell you that. We're waiting on him to hear back if he wants to do an interview with us now. We're still waiting. Where's he at, Jim?
I don't know.
So this wasn't this guy's vehicle or the guy's tag. You don't know what you're dealing with. It's all bad.
Also, one last note for this call.
Yeah.
The secondary officer didn't have a vest on. I mean, that officer safety. Go back to the desk.
I've seen it from command staff and other agencies, not our agency. We do the right thing in Daytona, but I've seen it before, and it's never a good look. I don't care who you are. If you're carrying a badge and a gun, have a vest on. If you're gonna help somebody with a stop, bottom line.
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
So, oh boy, what are we looking forward to this week? What do we got going on?
So right now, as they're watching this, the race, the Wawa 250 and what have you, the whole weekend's going on. And so we're busy in Daytona right now. People are out here. They're going to be out crossing busy lanes of highways on Speedway. We got several actually events, driver signings, all kinds of stuff taking place. And I'm going to tell you something. Can we go right behind the curtain for just a little bit?
Yep.
Saturday, the whole OPL crew that I can gather is doing a photo shoot for an upcoming thing.
Oh.
So you guys hold on to your horses. Get your money in hand. Stand by. I will be presenting something for you very soon. I think you're going to like it, guys. We're doing our thing in
Ooh.
Daytona for y'all.
We should do
You know,
sign.
but
We should do signed posters. That would be kind of cool. You and the crew.
let's do whatever we need to do to sell
Hmm.
some stuff, raise some money. We could put it right back into the channel, into our fans. We want to make it better for them.
Okay. Pause. We're taking a complete 180 here from what we're talking about because
Let's go.
I watched something today and it made me think about it.
Let's go.
I saw one of the YouTube channels. It was you guys, Daytona, pulled over a person for shoplifting in a really nice Mercedes. But they came all the way from Jacksonville with a baby in the passenger seat on the guy's lap. And you guys gave that person that was allowed to drive home, not the person that got arrested, a baby seat.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we could raise some funds for you guys to get extra baby seats.
Word.
So I would like to do that.
I
I'd like
would
to do that.
love to do
We'll
that
figure that out.
because right now we have to buy them individually each time. So yeah, it's quite the cost. Yeah,
So yeah,
donate back, give it back. I'm with it.
maybe we'll figure out how we could put like a donation link in here, and then we could get stuff for the PD to have on hand, whether it's baby seats or toys for kids or bears to put in patrol cars. Sorry, that was my squirrel moment that I was like, there was something else I wanted to talk about, and that was it.
I love it, man. Listen, we are the men of the people, and this is the People's Podcast. We want them to do a couple of things to help us out.
Probably like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Let's do all that.
Yep.
And then let's get these numbers up right. And the donations will come, right? We're not doing this for money. We're doing this for you guys. We want to grow the community. We love the community.
Yep. We're ready to give back as much as we can. Even though we're doing some volunteer work here, I'll still chip in. Let's
go, baby.
So we'll get some donation buttons and we'll get some signed posters of this guy.
I'll get some people with me. I have some variety.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to have Marcus and
Richie.
Is Noah allowed to not have a shirt on? I'm telling you.
Selena.
Oh, we should just do a calendar.
Let's just do something like that.
Let's do it. Let's just do a dog calendar. All right, fella. You got anything else?
Nah, bro. I'm happy to be here. I think we're going to have a good weekend. Busy in Daytona. And I'm expecting maybe a new department this week. We'll see.
Will we be expecting you on the show?
Always keep your eye out. You never know what you'll see.
God.
But if that new department doesn't drop this weekend, after the break, believe it's going to happen.
We're not going to call you the Silver Fox anymore.
What are you going to call me?
The International Man of Mystery. You leave us right there on the edge of the seats.
Love it, baby. Jim, right. You're the man, bro.
You the man. All right, fella. Let's get on out of here and we'll wrap this bad boy up.